Ow. Missed the pop, baby.
Well, I mean, you still did a barrel roll.
You know what? You're always seeing the bright side of things, John. Really, I appreciate that about you. Ah! Hey! What is going on, my dudes, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I post BMX content on a weekly basis, long form video as well as shorts, but mostly focus on long form stuff. But regardless of that, before we get into the riding content of today, I wanted to shed a bit of light on cameras and camera equipment, as this is a very important aspect when it comes to filming and creating content for YouTube. So there's this camera company, Fujifilm. I actually have one of their cameras right here, which I use for photography. This is a great camera. This is the X-T30, very great for shooting photos. But recently, specifically last week, they were kind enough to send me this little thing. This is the Fujifilm X-S20, and this is a compact but very, very powerful DSLR that is great for photos but amazing for filming. And I'm very, very excited to try out this camera. It has a very compact design. It's very modular. You can attach a bunch of different things to it. Typically, I plan on running an external mic as well as an external battery, which I'm currently using on my current camera, which is the Panasonic GH5. Another great camera, very modular, and has been my workhorse camera for probably the past 3 or 4 years. But this one I'm very excited to test out and see what it's capable of. And as you may notice, it has a very big lens. This is their 18 to 120 millimeter lens. So I'm going to be able to zoom in on some stuff. And the really cool part about it is, instead of like a typical lens where it's very manual and it has that in out, see that? This one actually has a motor inside of it, and you can control it by doing the natural kind of twist turn of the lens, but it also has a power zoom on the side, similar to like a camcorder. So you can get those really nice zooming into really smooth motions. But with this camera, very compact design, very lightweight, so it's great to maneuver and move around, which I'm very excited to test out. And of course, it's got that flip out screen so you can get all the good angles, especially when you're filming low angles, which I do a lot when riding BMX and filming BMX. And then as far as the stuff on the exterior, this is all small rig stuff. So we have the small rig cage, which has all sorts of screws and pins and things, so you can attach different things like a top handle here. Oh God. And it just makes, you can kind of build out your camera to fit to your needs. So yeah, again, very excited to film with this. And the other very cool thing about this is you can get really creative with this camera. I typically shoot all of my videos in manual, in a log format, so everything's flat, and then in post-production, I'll go ahead and boost all the colors, contracts, apply LUTs, and all that kind of boring stuff. But next to that, it has, I believe, 16 film simulations that you can do. And what those do, it kind of simulates different film looks, so you can have like different retro looks, and you can get really creative with what you're filming, which is really cool. And again, something that I'm very excited to take advantage of when it comes to filming as well as shooting BMX photos. So since I mentioned it, we have the GH5. We're gonna switch over to this camera, and then I'll show off what the GH5 looks like in 3, 2, 1, and boom. All right, you're now looking through the Fujifilm X-S20. Is the picture quality any better? Let me know down in the comments. But like I said, this is my Panasonic GH5. This is probably the first time you guys have seen this thing up close and personal. Again, this has been my workhorse for the past 3 or 4 years, and this is an amazing camera. I do love this camera. And same as the Fujifilm, this has the small rig bits and pieces and accessories like the top handle, as well as the battery pack holder on the side. So this battery actually runs the camera, so I don't have to use a bunch of little batteries throughout the day. If you guys are interested in kind of learning more about cameras and camera equipment, this is something that I actually nerd out about a lot. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to actually produce and make more content on this stuff, especially external batteries, tips and trips when it comes to filming, and how to set up your cameras and stuff like that, so let me know down below. As of right now, the Fujifilm is mostly gonna be a secondary camera, as I only have the 18 to 120 millimeter lens, which is great for a secondary camera. I'm gonna get those big, large shots, kind of provide a second angle of the action, Whereas with this camera, I do already have a wide angle lens, so I will be primarily using that for a lot of the close-up action shots. But I think in tandem, both of these cameras working together are gonna be great, and this is something that I'm very excited to explore and work with today when we're out at Pflugerville. I do want to highlight a couple of distinctions between the Panasonic and the Fujifilm X-S20. First thing, this camera is significantly bigger, especially with the battery pack on it. It's hefty. I mean, you do get a bit of an arm workout when you're running it, even without the battery, whereas the X-S20 is significantly smaller. The other thing with this camera, which I like a lot, is that it has 2 memory card slots and has a bit more weatherproofing. This one has all sorts of trapdoors and weatherproofing seals to make sure that any bits of rain and dust don't get into the camera. Unfortunately, the Fujifilm does not have that yet. However, their higher tier cameras do have that, which is great. So if you're interested in that and you want to spend a little bit more money, go right ahead. But other than that, I believe the image quality, the sensor size is bigger on the Fujifilm. And another thing that I'm very excited to test out is the internal body stabilization. And both of these cameras have it. One thing is that this Panasonic, both lenses for the Panasonic also have internal stabilization, so it's like ×2, you have it in the body as well as in the lens, whereas the Fujifilm only has it in the body. However, you can get lenses that do have that internal stabilization, which is a great tool, especially getting those walking shots when you don't have a gimbal. I currently don't have a gimbal. It's something that I'm interested in, but I don't need to add more gear to my bag. But yeah, very excited to have this opportunity with Fujifilm. I do want to make it clear that this isn't a sponsored video. They're not paying me to say only good things about the camera. You guys are going to be getting my honest reviews over the next couple of videos when I'm talking about cameras. I'm just very excited about it, and I've only done a couple of test shots with the X-S20, and I can put those in here. But I'm really excited to see what it's like out in the real world and see what kind of stuff we can make. And I only plan on making better videos, and this tool right here is gonna help me do that. So without further ado, I will see you guys at Pflugerville Skate Park in 3, 2, 1, and we're there. All right, my dudes, we made it here. We're at Pflugerville Skate Park. This is one of the biggest skate parks in the Austin will use. But there's airplanes. Check out the zoom capabilities, boys. Wow, isn't that incredible? We're gonna ride around and get a couple clips. Again, this is my first official session with the Fujifilm X-S20, so I'm really excited to play around with this. And also, unfortunately, my friend's canceled on me. No one's coming out, so there's gonna be a lot of tripod stationary clips. Might whip out the GoPro, who knows? But really gonna focus on using this new camera and seeing what we can do. So to start things off, I'm gonna just hand plant the big old vert wall. This is one of my favorite features here, and doing lofty hand plants on this thing always feels good. So let's go get that done. For this hand plant clip, I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna test out 2 things, and it has to do with the lens. Like I said, we have this 18 to 120 millimeter lens. So it has this auto zoom feature where when you press a button, it'll start zooming in at a pretty slow pace. I don't know if you can adjust it or not. I'm gonna definitely look into it a little bit further, but we're gonna auto zoom into the hand plant. And also, I'd really like to get like an up close shot of me making contact with the wall. So we'll do a second shot, pretty zoomed in on the wall, and hopefully I can get my hand in the right spot and make it look cool and kind of cut them together pretty nice. So let's give it a shot, boys. Let's get creative. I'm really stoked how that looked. I like kind of the bokeh in the background with it being focused on the vert wall and then kind of have a little bit blurred out in the background. Looks nice. Random trick just popped into my head that I don't think I've ever done is we have this smaller vert wall. I think I'd like to do like a nose bonk to bar on it. Also, we're throwing on the GoPro just to provide a little bit more commentary and excitement into this video. So, nose bonk bar, comment down below how many attempts you think it's gonna take. I did, in all fairness, do one run up bonk to shaky hands, and it felt decently okay, even though I landed flat, so I need to be a little bit more ginger, but I think I could get it first tee. So let's get this nose bonk bar, boys. All right, camera is ready to go. I did a lock on the autofocus just so it doesn't fall out for any reason with my fast movement, and also I zoomed in a little bit so you can see the contact on the nose bonk. Let's see this. Okay, that's all I need to know. All right, that's one attempt. If you boys guess 2 attempt, you're the winner. Oh, there we go. All right, so far this camera is doing great. The controls are super intuitive. I didn't look at a manual. I looked at a couple videos on YouTube, like basic controls and how to set it up. However, navigating the menu and everything like that, the buttons, the layout, all really easy to get a hang of, especially on the spot. One thing I will say, which just happened on that last clip, is it got a warning that the camera was overheating. This is something I've never experienced with the Panasonic. This is something typically with a GoPro or a phone that the camera will overheat and then automatically shut off. I'm glad it has that prevention so it doesn't overheat and die. And I do understand it's 90 degrees plus out here, but compared to the Panasonic and this one, that overheating issue, I hope it doesn't become a problem in the long run, especially when I'm constantly filming outside clip after clip. Mostly these clips have just been like, film a clip, sit down for a minute, film a clip, sit down for a minute. So that's one thing that I'm a little nervous about going forward. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world because, again, I think the GH5 will definitely be my workhorse and more go-to camera, and this will be more of a secondary camera. However, that could change. But so far, so good. Just wanted to point that out there. Yeah, I like it. The coloring looks great. It has a very flat profile that I'm able to edit it. So like right now, this is the colors corrected, and right now this is what it looks like, just a flat profile, and you're able to pull out all the contrast and you're able to pull out all the colors that you need. So really good on the color grading aspects side of things. So without further ado, let's get a couple more clips and just have a hoot and a holler, goof and a gap. I don't think I said that yet. Here we go, boys. All right, one trick that was a dream trick and then became a reality trick and now needs to become a consistency trick is the inside foot jam to bar. Legendary, I know. So we're in this little micro bowl. We're gonna do a little nose press on yonder, and then on that quarter, inside foot to bar. Really don't wanna just do bar wiggles for an hour. I'd like to just throw it, jam a finger, and then throw it again and get it done. So let's see what we can do. This is our friend John.
Hello.
John, I'm gonna throw this first try for you.
Alright.
Alright?
Let's see it.
Are we gonna see it, John?
Yep. Let's see it.
Also, John was in the Britt Michael video we did here ages ago. John's a legend.
Oh! That was so close.
Yeah, through it. Let's go, baby. Thank you, John. All I need is your approval. Super stoked on that in-jam bar. John gave me the power to throw it within the first go, but stoked to get that. I think that might have been one of my cleaner ones. I know as I start doing them on bigger quarters, they'll only get cleaner because I'll have more airtime, but it's a little still spooky, especially with the timing and being set up properly. But stoked to get that. I definitely did smash my finger, which I've had previously broken, and I don't know, it's feeling not great. So stoked to get that though, and I'm stoked on this camera, stoked on you guys, stoked on life. It's all going to plan, boys. But I don't know, I'm gonna go get some water and then do some more sprints. All right, refueled on some good old-fashioned water. We're back in the same bowl, but this time on the other side. Over here you can see there's this roller, a bit of a roller, mellow kind of tall guy. I want to flare it and then maybe do something on this quarter afterwards. So hopefully it works. It's pretty mellow. I don't know where the pop is going to be exactly, but I should be able to find it. It'll probably be somewhere in that region of the old pop. That's where it should be. But we're going to find out, of course. Oh, that was a close one, boys. I'm going to drop the camera.
Oh!
Johnny! Knock it off.
Don't pressure him.
You got this.
Let's go, baby. Stoked on that. Also very stoked on the surprise fakie bar, AKA the hardest trick in BMX. Again, really stoked on this camera. I think it's gonna give me a bunch of different opportunities and kind of creative ways to look at things, and especially filming things, getting different angles and all sorts of stuff. So really excited to use this thing more. If you want to check it out, it's the Fujifilm X-S20, and it's a great camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, slow down there, cowboy. Before I do any sort of outro, I do want to kind of give my first impressions on this camera. Again, this was my first session using this thing. I did take it out to Wells Branch, filmed a couple clips, yada yada, but I really didn't get a good feel for the camera at that time. However, after sessioning at Pflugerville, I love this thing. This is such a great camera, and I definitely see it as being a great option, especially for someone who is looking into getting into a more serious camera, like maybe going from filming on an iPhone or a GoPro into a DSLR platform. I love that it's mirrorless. I love the amount of control that you have over the camera, the options that it gives you. It's great. The only issue I did have, and this is a minor one, and I'm sure it was, again, because it was 90+ degrees out, was the overheating. It did seem to overheat pretty quickly, which is something that I haven't experienced using my Panasonic. However, it didn't auto shut off or anything like that. I just got a notification on the screen saying that it was getting ready to reach its max temperature. So then I would turn off the camera for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, let it rest, put it into the shade or whatever, directly out of the sun, turn it back on, and then it was fine after that. So not a huge issue, just something that I was surprised about. As far as this lens goes, this is a great lens, and I had a lot of fun using it to create cool shots, especially filming solo, like the auto zoom in during the hand plant. That was really cool, and also being able to punch in on specific points, like for instance, again, on the hand plant, like being able to zoom in and get my hand hitting the wall, as well as during the tire press to in jam bar, getting that cool shot of just the tire going in. I like those details are something that I wasn't able to get before because I didn't have a lens like this. So very cool. And the fact that it's 18 to 120 gives you a lot of flexibility to work with. But back to the camera, another thing I want to mention is the battery life. I only used 25% of the battery throughout the whole day, and that is pretty awesome. Already started editing the video itself, and the color profiles, the vlog profile that I chose gives me a lot of flexibility to edit with. And again, this is kind of more advanced, and I do use manual settings when I'm creating new videos. However, the auto settings that you do have, and again, all those different color profiles and film simulation profiles that you have at your disposal are really cool, and they honestly could make some really neat videos with that, or even interesting shots and kind of using it sparingly and kind of to build more emphasis on a certain shot, which I think is really cool, and that's something that I want to explore in later videos. I did say it a couple times in the video that this would be more of a backup camera. I don't know if I'm gonna stick to that. I actually was very pleasantly surprised with this camera. The only reason I was saying really that I would use it more for a backup camera is because of the lens. I do prefer using a wide angle lens to really get those up close shots, which are really fun and really cool. However, again, with the 18 to 120, I can't get as close, but I can get close enough to make it interesting. I do see myself in the future getting some sort of wide angle lens for this camera, but for now, really satisfied with this 18 to 120, as well as having the Panasonic as backup for those wide angle shots. So I honestly, planning forward, I think I will use the Panasonic more sparingly now, just to use it for the wide angle, and then mostly use this camera for the vlog style stuff. Again, one of the main reasons being is how lightweight and maneuverable this thing is. Like, this doesn't cause any strain on my arm. I could hold this thing for days, whereas the Panasonic is significantly heavier. So overall, first impressions, I love this camera. I think it's amazing. Yes, it does have a couple things that I don't like, such as the overheating. So overall, for me, I'm really excited to use this camera more, especially when we go on our trip to Woodward. This is going to be an amazing tool to have at my disposal. And for you viewing, if you're looking to get a new camera and you're looking to upgrade your gear, move from like an iPhone or a GoPro, like I said, I'd say this is a great option. This is kind of like your mid to high range camera. It's not over the top and overkill by any means, but it gets the job done. So thanks again to Fujifilm for sending me this camera. Again, this isn't a sponsored video. They're not paying me to say anything specifically about this camera. They just wanted to get my first impressions and to add this to my arsenal of cameras, if you will. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you subscribe, drop a like, maybe even comment. Follow me on Instagram at @TheRealJRHobbs. Check out my clothing company, BMX, if you want to help support the channel. Also, we do have a members channel if you want to get exclusive perks and access to videos early. And if you need any bike parts, go to timetoshinebmx.com. Links are all down below. And again, if you want to see any more content like this about camera stuff, camera gear, equipment, different strategies and methods of filming videos, let me know in the comment section down below, because I really did have a lot of fun filming this type of video. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. You all have a special place in my heart, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.